Tonight, I'm going to teach you how and why I set up my African cichlid peacock breeding tanks the way that I set them up. Welcome back to another episode of SandersAquatics. So tonight, we're going to talk about, and I've talked about this tank a bunch, and this is I've got some dragon blood peacocks that I've been breeding like crazy here recently. I'm going to show you how I set it up, why I set it up the way I set it up, why it's working and what it's doing, and what the plans for the future here are. But we're going to mention our gift card giveaway. We are over halfway into the month, and we are doing our $100 gift card giveaway to any of your local mom and pop shops. It's one winner. You have to be a subscriber, and you have to comment on a video and say, I support local shops. But you can do it anytime through any video, any short through the course of the month of September. One comment gets you an entry. We have a second gift card giveaway. We are giving away some of our Turkana Jewels. Check these guys out. Really cool. It's these guys right here. It's a breeding pair that I have over there. I scared them a little bit. But we got another breeding pair down here too. Absolutely stunning fish. They're ready to eat. I just pulled babies from them. So they'll probably be sitting on another one. Looks like I missed a baby. But they're stunning. But we're going to give away 6 to one lucky subscriber. You have to comment any video, any short through the course of the month of September. I want free Turkana Jewels. One comment per video. You can do both. You can get entered in both, and you might win both. I don't know. We'll do a random draw. But tonight, we're going to talk about these peacock cichlids. So these guys right here, I've been doing a whole lot of African cichlid breeding here recently, and the way that I've been setting up my tanks is most of them are very similar to this. Now, these guys will eventually need a bigger setup, but with peacocks especially, the males are extremely aggressive when there's other males and females in the tank with them. Like, you can put 100 males in there, and actually that's a good setup because they are an aggressive fish, and they're going to get along better. As soon as you introduce one female, you're going to have that bad boy that's going to want to shine out for them. And then they just go sideways really quick. But I've got, here, I'll feed them to get them to come out here for us. I've got one boy in here, and he's got all girls. He's having the best time of his life. But you got a girl here, girl here, girl here. There's one sitting back in the back that's holding. I have not stripped her yet. She's been holding right at about probably 2 weeks so. And we got our boy that's hiding out over here. So what we do when we set this up, it's a good idea to have sand substrate. They'll breed for you, and they'll be okay in a bare bottom tank or even in a gravel tank. They prefer sand. They're really sifters. They like to be able to sift and do what they got to do. Our boy's getting mad because we're up on the tank. But what they'll do when they go through to spawn, the female will go through, she'll lay her eggs, the male comes over top, fertilizes them, she scoops them up, she holds them in her mouth for about, usually somewhere between about 2 to 3 weeks. I like to go through and strip them after about 2.5 weeks. They seem to come out, they've used up most of their yolk sac at that point, and it seems to be about the best timing. Can you let them spit them out? Absolutely. In a tank like this, they get eaten. They're going to get eaten really quick. There's our boy coming out. Look how pretty he is. Usually in most of your peacock worlds, the boys are stunning and the girls have no coloration. Like, he's got all the orange and blue and stuff to him. And the girls, they really don't have much. But they have been producing a lot of babies here recently. They've gotten to the maturity age, and he's doing his job very, very well. So he's been producing a lot of babies for us. When you set this up, they are still an aggressive fish, so you want lots of places for them to be able to get away from each other, especially the girls that are holding eggs. The girls that are holding eggs, they don't like to eat. They just want to be left alone. They want to guard their babies. So you want to set yourself up like little holes like this, like what he's hiding in. There's another hole back there behind it. There's some plants to block that hole. They, of course, got the filter to get into. There's another hole set up over here for them. I've got plants set up there. There's another hole set back there that they can go in there that's got plants blocking it. So somewhere where they can get away from the group if somebody's deciding to get a little too feisty. Just gives them the opportunity to go through and just hold their eggs and protect their eggs. That's where a lot of the females want to go through and hide. If you're looking for what it is that creates that kind of world, is basically like this girl, she's full of eggs. She's got her mouth full. The bottom of the mouth will come down really far. You can tell she's holding eggs. They usually will not eat when there's food in there. These guys don't ever hesitate to eat. But the girls usually will not eat when they're holding eggs. It's the easiest and best sign, and then they're usually staying away from the group of other fish too. This tank, I will end up having to eventually upgrade it because it's not a big enough tank for them as they grow and they get bigger. Oh, so I'll show you here. We got a couple of the babies. We got a couple of the babies down here. This is the most recent batch I got out of here. Pretty good little skull. This was out of one female. There's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15. There's about 16, 17, maybe 20 fish in here. Came out of one female. So they put off quite a few fish when they go through and put them off. These guys are 2 weeks old. About, yeah, I think they're right at about 2 weeks old. They don't grow super duper duper fast here because we got another batch down here that I think is about a month old, maybe a month and a half. And they're probably double the size of those guys. They're growing out with some of our other peacocks and Africans we've been breeding. So these are these guys here. And they're about a month and a half old. They're growing up. They're probably double the size those other guys are. But I've got another batch right behind it because I do have one female that's holding in there for sure. So I probably, in the last month, we probably have 40 or 50 of these guys. So it's kind of cool. Having a real good time with it. But easy fish to keep, fun to breed. Once you set it up, they're pretty much going to do the work for you. Just leave them alone. Set it up. Make sure they got everything they need. Places to get away. Sand substrate is a good indicator. I've seen folks, and I've never had to do this, set up trigger spots for them to breed. Like they'll put a flat stone down in the bottom so that they've got somewhere to lay the eggs and be able to scoop them up. I don't do that. Never had to do it. This works really, really well. I've bred several different peacocks this way, yellow labs this way. Man, I don't even know how many. I think red zebras, blue dolphins, a whole bunch of them. I bred a bunch of different. But I've always done this ever since I was probably the last 20 years that I've bred these guys. But works out really well. Easy, almost hands off. You do need somewhere to separate the babies too. If you don't want to strip the females and you still want to try to keep the eggs, you could always pull the female that's holding the eggs and put her in her own tank. Keep an eye out when she goes through and she spits the babies. Put her back in the adult tank. That's another alternative to go through and allow them to naturally spit them out. It's probably the most humane, but I've never heard of fish stripping a fish. Every one of these females in here has probably been stripped at least once or twice, and they're all still doing just fine. It doesn't hurt them. Is it weird to have a giant come in there and grab you and pick you up and hold your mouth open and let your babies get away from you? Yeah, probably a little odd, but it doesn't hurt. So If you guys have any questions, maybe a better way to go through and do it, maybe you're doing something that works better and you're getting a higher yield rate and you're happier with the way that that's going through and that's working, let us know. We'll share it. We'll try it. I'm all about trying new ways of doing things. Learned a long time ago, if you do the same thing for the rest of your life, you're always going to get the same results. So maybe somebody's doing it better than what I am. I've seen some folks that breed fish differently than the way that I do, and I've adapted and gone through and tried those things, and they worked out really well. Actually, a lot of comments from you guys I've adjusted with. But as always, we really appreciate you guys. If you need anything, don't hesitate to reach out. Let us know. But thanks again for watching Sanders Aquatics. Like and subscribe.